What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be doing another tier list in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So this is going to be a tier list of the best players in the game. It's going to be a tier list, the best pink diamonds in the game. It's going to be a tier list, again, based on my own opinion. We have S tier through worthless tier, and it's going to be guys rated either 95 or 96. Before we get on to it, huge thank you guys. Huge thank you guys again for 250,000 subscribers. Like, it's a number that I can't even comprehend, to be honest, but support's been absolutely crazy on the channel recently. Like, over 1,000 subs in the last 2 days has been nuts, and yeah, I do really appreciate it. And also, if you guys do want to subscribe to the podcast channel or the basketball channel, both links will be in the description. And if you enjoy MyTEAM content, subscribe to this channel. We upload more MyTEAM content here than anywhere else. So yeah, anyway, now we are going to get on to the list. All right, so Allen Iverson, we're starting off with. E tier? I'm not quite sure. Oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't know whether he's not awful, but he's not very good either. So, as much as I would like to put him in worthless tier, or in a higher tier, he may end up being in worthless tier. Like, I actually enjoy using Iverson, but yeah, he's not that much. Caruso, A. He's got a, like, there's no flaws in the card, really. He's 6'5", decent wingspan. His all-around play is good. Like, he's a good shooter. He's a good ball handler. He's a good dunker. He's a good defender. It's just there are better cards in the game than him right now. Like, in my opinion, I think Winslow probably has a slight edge on him. You can use him even at the 2 if you need to. I think he's better than Halliburton. I'm going to say that now. I do personally believe that Caruso is better than Halliburton, but I do think it's close. But I'm going to put Caruso in A tier here. Then we have got Miller. I think it's hard to separate Andre Miller and Alex Caruso. Maybe Miller's a tier lower, but I really like Miller. I really do like Miller. Maybe because of how easy he is to get, but he's at 97 speed, a 90 driving dunk. He's got a decent wingspan, is 6'4". His behind the back is the same. I'm pretty sure they're the same behind the back. And base 37 and very quick is really nice release. So I'm a fan of both of these cards. I'm going to put them both in A tier. Both in A. Then we have got Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins is an obvious A tier inclusion as well. He's not quite that top tier of pink diamond. Like, for example, let me just chuck in my S tier player that I think is just better than Wiggins, and it's Kyle Korver. Like, if you even compare Wiggins and Kyle Korver right here, I think, like, most people will say that Korver is quite a bit better. Like, Wiggins, again, a little bit outdated. He's still really good, though. Again, 27 Hoff badges for Wiggins. So Wiggins has got 27 Hoffs. His gold badge count is pretty good as well, of 18. But, yeah, so basically... Okay, I'm just trying to make sure we don't go off the screen. So basically, Wiggins only has gold range center. He does have Hoff clamps, and he does have Hoff showtime. But, like, in terms of, like, defense or playmaking badges, doesn't have many of them. And I just think Korver is the better card. Like, if you compare a Wiggins to a Korver, like, Korver has a little bit shorter wingspan. It's only 1 inch shorter, though. But Korver is a plus 10 3 ball. For some reason, in terms of driving dunk, Korver has a 95 dunk. And, like, things like passing vision, Wiggins is better in. Defensively, he's quite a bit better at everything except lateral quickness. And then badges-wise, you get Hoff range extender and some extra shooting badges on Korver. Like, I don't think it's any... Like, Hoff quick for steppers, go quick for steps, the only thing. But I think Korver is that bit of a better player than Wiggins, in my opinion. So Wiggins is going to go into A tier. Korver is going to go into S tier. And one other thing is that Korver, I'm pretty sure, if you guys look at animations, Korver actually has the quick dribble style, and Wiggins has the slasher dribble style, which means on next gen, Korver is even better. But Ben Wallace is going a tier below into B tier. Ben Wallace's release is the one. His jump shot is the one problem with him. He can curry. I don't think curry on current gen. His defense is really good on current gen. His defense really good, especially at power forward. He reminds me very much of, do you remember the Pink Diamond Giannis? The Pink Diamond Retro Giannis, where he really, like, you needed to be a skilled shooter to green with him, but he can green when he's wide open in the corners because he does have hot spots in the corner. I've struggled shooting with the guy. I think Ben Wallace has the potential. If they give him the Curry slide with his player build and defense, his release, if they give him like a glitched Ben Wallace card, I'm telling you guys, that card's going to be good. Ben Wallace has got a lot of good things. I don't think this card's great. I think just the way his player build is, he has the potential. Like, if they go and give us a like small forward 2-guard Ben Wallace, I'm telling you, that card could be very, 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 very tough to not have in your team because of his defense. Well, probably very much like last year's Ben Wallace, who was extremely underrated. Then we've got Bol Bol, the most obvious S tier inclusion in this entire list. Man, Bol Bol is ridiculous. He is absolutely ridiculous. He is potentially the #1 card in the game on next gen. It's just stupid how fast he moves. Whatever 2K did with the speed patch has given him 150 speed. People are saying, oh, you put a lot of people put diamond Grinch shoes on him and are like, oh my god, he's so fast with the diamond Grinches. No, you don't need Grinch shoes. You trust me, you don't. You don't need any speed shoes on the guy. The guy with his 89 speed that feels like it's 175 is the fastest player in the game on next gen. I like him on current gen, but he's more of like a lane playing, catch and shoot big man. But on next gen, you've got probably the best card in the game. He gets the most space I've ever seen off a Curry slide. His like side to side rhythm dribble is crazy. His like just the way he moves, the way he bursts because of his quick dribble style is ridiculous. Bol Bol, more than any other card, like there should be a Bol Bol tier. Like, he's that much better than every other Pink Diamond. Like, Bol Bol is, I really like Danny Ferry. I really do. Bol Bol might be numero uno. Like, Danny Ferry's, I've referred to Danny Ferry as numero uno quite a bit because he is, for me, the #1 card in the game. But man, Bol Bol's close. If Bol Bol had a better release, I would say he was #1. But Brook Lopez, it isn't even a terrible release, but Danny Ferry's is the best release. Boris Diaw, S. And when we're talking Pink Diamonds, not much better. Although, I will say, the gap between Bol Bol and Diaw is quite a bit. But, man, Diaw is incredible as well. Diaw is a top 30 card in the game. Like, I'm not going to say he's any higher because I don't personally believe he's higher than top 30. But top 30, I think, is an accurate placement for Boris Diaw. Again, maybe it's a little bit of, I don't think anyone's going to argue he's S tier. I was going to say it's a little bit of bias because he's my favorite player of all time, but I mean, I still don't think anyone's going to argue that Boris Diaw is not S tier. Okay, then we got Bruce Bowen. If we're talking next gen, he's A tier. We're talking current gen, he's like B or C. I don't think he's as good overall as Wiggins. As much as I like him, I'm going to put Bruce Bowen in B tier. I think he's good, not spectacular. So I'm going to put him into this tier. But again, if you want to put him in a higher tier, I'm not going to hold it against you. He's a good card. He's a really, really good defender. And he's got half blinders as well. I might move him up. But B for now. Melo, C tier. I mean, he can hit wide open on next gen. Can't shoot from the corners on current gen. I mean, he's as good as on next gen. No, he's not as good as the Dark Matter, but he didn't feel that different than Dark Matter. His defense is still good. He's still the exact same defense as Dark Matter. Dark Matter just is half range extender. Can't really create for himself, but he can hit wide open. So Melo, go into C tier. Charles Oakley. B. I don't mind his release. I really don't. I've used it. It's a lot better than it is on Schroeder anyway. He's actually a pretty decent player. And like, yeah, he's comparable to Ben Wallace. He's very comparable to Ben Wallace. 6'1" point guard. I'm sorry, Colin Sexton. You were great for your time. Like, I was so high on Colin. Like, I remember I was so high on Colin Sexton for his time that I put him in, I don't think it was this month. I think it was the March point guard tier list or the March Pink Diamond tier list. that I put him in a much higher tier than I should have. I think I put him like A tier, and I should have really put him in like B or C. He was point guard where I put... Was it Chris Paul? I put him like 2 tiers behind a version of Chris Paul. I can't even remember. But I remember really overrating him on a tier list. He was great, so good for his time that I only have good memories of this card, but he's mad. Man, he's overrated. He's so outclassed right now. Dame, E tier. He can't even curry. He's undersized, he can't curry. His shooting's okay, and on current gen he has steady. But he isn't blind as the next gen, it's only on gold, which kind of defeats the purpose. D'Lo. D'Lo's C tier. He's usable on current gen. He's unusable on next gen. I like the card art though for D'Lo. I do like the card art. Like, it was fun collecting cards and getting a D'Angelo Russell card. I really enjoyed the card collecting part of season 5 because of the murals. But yeah, D'Angelo Russell, he was like, if his release is better on next gen, he'd be very good. His movement is really good on both gens, so I'm going C tier. Danny Granger. Man, Danny Granger in his day was a god tier player. B or C? I'm going to say C because I don't think he's that much better than Carmelo Anthony. Granger has got really nice length. Like, he's got a long wingspan and he's 6'9". That's the big thing with Danny Granger. His shooting leaves quite a bit to be... Or say not shooting. Everything but his shooting leaves a bit to be desired, to be honest. His dunking's not great. And like, I like the card. I don't think he's even worth the 20 or so K he goes for now. C tier. Darius Miles. If you can get his release down, Darius Miles is A tier. If you can't get his release down, Darius Miles is B tier. Darius Miles is like slightly better Andrew Wiggins if you can get his release down. But a lot of people can't. Like, Darius Miles does not have an easy release at all the time. Like, it is base 65 on very quick. Wait a minute. I've used him and I didn't like his release. I could have swore he had Brook Lopez base. They changed Darius Miles base. I could have swore when I even used him that he had Lopez base. Oh, I was wrong, obviously. But yeah, he's basically just another Andrew Wiggins. I can't justify. Like, they're basically the same stats and badges wise. I can't justify not putting him in the same tier as Wiggins. Dave the Busher, even range Dave the Busher, I'm putting in. No, range Dave the Busher is in B tier. Dave the Busher is so kind of slept on. As far as these Spotlight Sim Awards, and he really was slept on when he came out. Like, if you're looking for Dave the Busher, like, what you're getting with this card is you're getting like 18 hoffs. You do need to give him range, but the guy's got like really nice defensive stats, and the guy's got, what has he got, like 12, 13 Hall of Fame defensive badges, as well as a pretty decent 3-ball and a really nice release on base 26 on quick. So I actually think Dave in B tier is where he belongs. De'Aaron Fox, B or C? Because he was good. His dunking's not the greatest, but he's good. His player build, I don't like his player build in the next gen. He's like super slim. But he was a very good free card to come out. He was a fun card to use. I think, did he come out? He was the did to come out, didn't he? Or did he come out the same day as Ben Wallace? No. I don't even remember. I think D'Lo might have been the last one to ever come out. I think he might have been the final piece for Phil Jackson, or say for Greg Popovich. Buggy, B tier. Buggy's as good as Ben Wallace. I still very much enjoy this, or think this DeMarcus Cousins is a good card. Like, is he flawless? No. I'm gonna put him B tier. This DeMarcus Cousins, I'm gonna put a tier lower. He is a much more flawed card. The Buggy's quite a bit more athletic and a better defender. This B tier Buggy here, but his Buggy's gonna go into C tier. Then we have got Domantas Sabonis. Dom Buse. I don't think Buse is good as Caruso or these guys, but Domantas Sabonis is gonna go into A tier, potentially move to S tier. Alright, actually, this is the time list. We need to get the lower tiers filled out. We need to get the lower tiers really filled out. Okay, so LaMarcus Aldridge, worthless. The only thing he could really do was use his Hall of Fame deep hooks, but they patched it. This J.R. Smith, he's D tier. Oubre, D tier. I don't like Kelly Oubre. I'm not a fan at all of this guy. I know some people like him. Nate Robinson. I'm sorry. I used him earlier and he actually was alright in the game, but I gotta put him worthless. This Steph Curry, worthless. Like, his player build is too slim. Like, even AI is quite a bit better than this Steph. Like, at this stage of the game, especially on next gen, because AI can at least burst, whereas Steph can't, so he's going into the bottom tier. Parrish can't shoot, but he's actually big and fast, so I'm going to put him into E tier. Mark Eaton can't do anything anymore. They patched post hooks. He's going E tier as well. So, you got most of our lower rated players here. I think who else is not good? I mean, Rubio's as good as Colin Sexton. No, I don't like him that much. He's as good as Sexton. So, let's chuck in... I mean, Joe Dumars is probably... No, he's D tier. He's as good as Sexton. Rubio's D tier as well. Again, Rubio's release is just a little bit iffy, but he's an all-around good player. I'm trying to think. There are no other lower tier players, so I might have to start moving around my tiers. I might have to do this. Yeah, I'm gonna put these guys there. You go down. You stay. You go down. You stay. And with this type of tier, it means that I don't like LeBron. If you like LeBron, you can tell me I'm wrong all you want. D tier for LeBron. I don't think LeBron's as good as Danny Granger. And I don't think this LeBron is as good as this Melo. Who else do I want to put into this low tier? 6'5" power forward. You balled. Like, Keldon Johnson balled out my gameplay. He balled out my gameplay. He's just too little. He is just too little. He's a 6'5" player who can't play anywhere other than power forward and small forward. He was really good in my smallest players gameplay, but like, again, he was in the smallest squad possible, so. He's the smallest power forward in the game. Actually, yeah, I think he is. I don't know if Jay Sean Tate's primary power forward, but he's second smallest player that can play power forward in the game. So, I think that might be it for my really low tier players. Then we got Draymond. Draymond is still a good card. Was he in the last... I think he was in the last retro batch that came out. We really need a new retro batch. It's been way too long. It has been way too long, lads, since we have seen a batch of retro cards. So, yeah, I think Draymond Green... I think we definitely need a new retro card. And I think when we get... Like, this Draymond Green just became so outclassed so quick. Like, I think everyone was, like, expecting was, like, looking so forward to this Draymond. Then we just got all the Giants. I think if we get a point guard Draymond that can curry this year with his release. His release isn't great for a point guard, but as a secondary ball handler, he's a nice card. Frank Ntilikina. A tier. I think he's as good as these guys right here. I think Frank is a really good player. I'm not gonna... Who am I gonna put in S as point guards? I'm gonna move Caruso up to S tier. Because he's probably the best ping time point guard in the game. I think he's that level above like a Frank Ntilikina. And then Alonzo Ball goes into A tier as well. Lonzo's a really good player. He can shoot, he can handle. He's got to go behind the back in current gen. His release obviously is good. His dunking's good. He only needs goal showtime, but his defense is really good. I don't think Lonzo's as good as Frank or Andre Miller. But for now, I'm going to put him into A tier. Alright. Gerald Wallace. I mean, is Gerald Wallace... He's like just Dave the Busher with a worse release, I guess. It was good for his time, though. It was really good for his time. Like, Gerald Wallace was a very good... Like, when 250 was happening, people were running Gerald Wallace in the teams. He was one of the best two guys in the game. Hakeem Warwick, A. I really like Hakeem Warwick. He has a release on very quick. So if you're on current gen, it might be a little bit too fast. But if you're on next gen like myself, Hakeem Warwick is so cash. His dunking's incredible. His defense is incredible. I mean, there is nothing, absolutely nothing bad with this card, in my opinion. Absolutely fantastic. Again, his dunking's great, defense great, length is great, release in my opinion is great, so he's A tier. Emmanuel Quickly. He's a 6'3" point guard, but he's got a long wingspan and a good release. He's better than Joe Dumars. I'll put him in C tier. Quickly, I know a lot of people really like Quickly, and you can cook with Quickly. I can see why people like him. He's just a little bit small, but you can really score with Emmanuel Quickly. You really can. He can be a very, very effective card in terms of scoring. So he is going here into C tier. Then we have got Jack Sigma. So Jack Sigma, if I got Buggy and B, I'm putting Sigma and B. Sigma is so underrated as a card. Base 22 on very quick. Decent but not great speed. He's an all-around nice center. He's not spectacular by any means, but he's a good card. I wouldn't lock in for the guy. I wouldn't lock in for any play. There's no card in the game right now to lock in that's worth it apart from maybe Bobby Jones. But other than that, I'm going to say it. I'm a big fan of this Jack Sigma card. But he does not belong above B tier. Jaren Jackson Jr., no-brainer, S tier. I don't know who's better, Jaren Jackson Jr. or Eddie Curry. I really don't know which one of these guys are better. But they are two incredible centers. Jackson Jr. free, Eddie Curry being like 10k. They're like the two best budget centers in the game. If you're just starting out and you can get those two guys in your team for like maybe an hour or so worth of grinding and like 10k, like it's just a no-brainer. And again, Jaren Jackson Jr., his shooting's great, his handle's great for a big man, his defense is really good, he gets a lot of boards, and is one of the best pink diamond cards in the game in general. Joe Smith, I have not used him, but he's good. Like, I've played against him and I've seen like his stats and stuff, and from playing against him I can tell that he's definitely A tier because he's got elite length. His release, maybe it was just the guy I played against that used him, but he was chicken with him. Like, he's got base 22, which is a base that I really like, but he does have that really awkward upper. He has the Rick Barry, Chris Webber, the weird like arms go really low upper that I thought would make a card not great, but again, the guy was chicken with him. But his overall movement is really good. His dribble sigs are good. He's 6'10", power forward, which again, who can play small forward. So like a 6'10" player that can play small forward is always going to be a decent card. And then when you combine that with having a decent release, great defensive stats and badges, as well as the quick dribble style on next gen, I know to get him Pro 4 behind the back, but in my opinion, he's a great card. Then we have got Karl Anthony Towns. He's as good as Sigma, I guess. B tier. Like, again, if you are on current gen, because of the way the speed glitch is, I mean, I probably would put Cat in A tier if I'm on current gen. But if you're on next gen, the guy trips over himself when he's trying to cross the ball over. Like, it's mad. You need 70 ball handle. If you don't have 70 ball handle on a center on next gen, on any player on next gen, they will trip over themselves while trying to dribble the ball. Like, 70 ball handle is like the minimum you kind of need on every big man in the game, and he's got 60, so it's very hard to get that above 70. But his shooting's pretty good, his defense is good, he's got half showtime. I'm going to put him B tier because I hate him. If you want to argue he's A tier and you're a current gen player, I'm not going to argue that. He probably is. Lamar Odom. He's like a worse Joe Smith. His release is actually pretty nice. He does, I think, get half showtime. I even prefer him to like the Opal LeBron James. But he's just a bit dated stats wise. His speed stats aren't the greatest. His just overall stats, they're all just a little bit dated. They're all well rounded. He's very similar to, if you guys remember from last year, the Diamond Lamar Odom. He's very similar to that, except he's obviously a little bit more updated version where his stats are in kind of high 80s to the low 80s. I think he's got all the key badges. He's just an all-around decent card. I think most people would choose a Hakeem Warwick over him or Joe Smith over him, but he's a decent card. Magic Johnson. I've tried to use him. I'm going to put the guy in B tier. He doesn't get boards or play defense for me. He's really, really, like, he doesn't even run on current gen. He's really good on next gen. His post hooking, which is the biggest thing about him. One, they nerfed post hook. Two, it was so big because he couldn't really put point guards to guard the other Magic Johnson. His behind the back is really good though. His speed glitch is pretty good. His release is not great. Rebounding's not great. So I'm going to put Magic Johnson in B tier. He's alright though. Malik Sealy, A. Malik Sealy, definitely A tier. Like him and Wiggins' preference. Sealy's got a little bit longer wingspan, a better player build. Wiggins has some more Hall of Fame badges. His shot's really good. Ray Allen base. He can curry slide. He's elite. He is elite. Mo Peterson. Mo Peterson can't really dribble that well. Yes, he's got half blinders, but it is steady on current gen. You're not gonna use him on next gen. Trust me, you're not gonna use him on next gen. The only gen where anyone will use him is current, but he comes with steady, so you're not really gonna use him in current. He doesn't really have a use. He can hit wide open. His release is okay. So I think C tier is probably a fair spot for him. Miles Turner. Better Karl Anthony Towns. I think I really overrated Miles Turner in my top 100. I don't think he's better than Sabonis, but he's alright. He's, for me, a B tier player. He's like a slightly better Karl Anthony Towns. If you want to move him to A, just like Cat, I'm not going to have anything against that. But for me, he is into B tier. Vucevic. I mean, I gotta go B as well for Vucevic. Like, Vucevic is, because he's a mystery card, Vucevic is extremely underrated. Like, I've only used him on current gen, and he was alright. But like, if you're looking at Vucevic, the guy comes with 27 half badges. For anyone that's maybe reacting to this video and going crazy and putting Vucevic in, like 80 speed, it's not unusable. But he does have a really good 3-ball and a really good release, half range extender, and a lot of decent defensive badges. So I think like low B tier is probably the best place to put him. Then we got OG Anunoby, no brainer, A tier. Borderline S, but I'm gonna put him A. He's a fantastic dribbler, fantastic defender, hits wide open, and great release. A tier for OG Anunoby. Oscar Robertson. If we're talking next gen, he's B. We're talking current gen, he's like C or D. So I'm gonna put him in C tier. He's alright on next gen. He's just a little bit outdated and his release is a bit slow at this stage. But I do think an Oscar Robertson release on very quick, if they give him the half blinders badge, could be a force to be reckoned with on next gen. I think he could be a really, really good card. But I'm going to go C tier for Big O, just a little bit outdated. Same tier as Danny Granger. These guys both came out on the same day alongside Anthony Davis. Then we got Ray Allen, B. At this stage, he was really good when he came out because he was like he was almost like a niche card. Like, he was a half blinders player that could curry slide. There was very few of them in the game. Problem is that way more cards will come out to do the exact same thing as what Ray Allen does. And again, there's a lot of flaws with the cards people realize with his dribble style and stuff. So Ray Allen's gone B tier. Richard Duma, S. I'm so high on this card. He's 6'7", but he's got a really long wingspan. For me, he's that step above the Wiggins, the Sealeys. He's got 30 half badges. His release, PG, I'm very quick. I'm a massive, massive fan of. His handle's good, his dunking's good, his defense is good. And he's just, for me, a better version of a Hakeem Warwick. He's a better version of a Malik Sealy / Wiggins. I know he can't play the two, but he is he's a better version of Draymond. He's a really good card in my opinion. So for me, I'm going to put Richard Duma up here into S tier. Then we have got Rick Smits. Rick Smits, I mean, C tier. They nerfed like post hooking and everything. He's not terrible. Like, we all call him like the next Taco, but I mean, with the post hook nerf, Taco's not as good anymore. He doesn't really have much of a purpose, does he? He's okay. Rudy Tomjanovic, I wouldn't suggest locking him in, but he's B tier. He's an all-around. He's a little bit like a Lamar Odom type player. He can do a little bit of everything. Can curry on next gen, obviously on current gen and next gen, and he's got a really good release. He's got the Wes Unseld release, but he's like a worse but slightly taller Wes Unseld. Then we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, B. I mean, we got B tier as well for Sidney Wicks. These are two guys that, like, Shai, I thought was going to be really good when he came out, but I mean, his release is only mediocre. Sidney Wicks, he's got a long wingspan. He's actually good at playing lanes, but that's really it. He doesn't really do much except for play lanes, to be honest. And we got Nash. Nash is 1 tier ahead of Colin Sexton. Nash, he has 25 interior defense. And with the fact that every point guard now is like 6'9", he's like, you didn't need interior defense at Christmas. Like, it mattered a little bit, especially on next gen, because it literally didn't do anything till like February. But now the guy is literally unusable on next gen. He's not going to be good on current gen because small point guards are bad, and also he is the worst card out in the game. So I'm gonna put him into D tier. Terry Dishinger. A. Like, is he better than Malik Sealy? Maybe, maybe not, but it's a close one. So I'm gonna go A tier. He still has it. Zach LaVine. I like this LaVine so much, but he's B tier. I love this Zach LaVine card. I use him in my squad to get Paul Millsap. I'm a huge fan of him, but he is objectively B tier. Then we got Terry Dishinger, who's just that little bit better at most things that I'm going to put into A tier. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. We got these 6 guys up in S tier. Heck, I'm gonna have my 5 because I'm a little bit, as much as I like Richard Duma, I think these guys we got a point guard, a 2 guard, a small forward, a power forward, and a center. So we have our starting 5, our all pink diamond team. We've got Alex Caruso at the 1, Bobold, or Alex Caruso at the 1. I wish Bobold at the 2, but Corver at the 2, Diaw at the 3, Bobold at the 4, and Jackson Jr. at the 5. So we got the all pink diamond first team. Then we got A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, E tier, and worthless tier. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.